Blue light special, aisle 9, XRP is 19 cents. Ask me if I'm scared, because I'm not. I'm excited. That's right, Coinbase announces a trading halt, and I'm excited. Can you say price set in your future? Because I can. Let's roll that beautiful intro. Here we go.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. XRP is 19 cents. Let that sink in. Good morning. 0.1949. That's where we're sitting this morning, and I couldn't be more excited. Well, I could. If it gets between 10 and 15 cents, I'm going to buy the rest of it. Yeah, I know some of you might be freaking out, but I don't mean to play with your emotions. Let me just tell you one thing right now. Everyone has to follow their own path. None of what we're talking about is financial advice. Let's go ahead and get this going because it's a big conversation. Let's try to make it as tight and as clean as possible. So no more BTC. This is from XRP Nurse as Maxie's triggered in 3, 2. Treasury Department has published guidance clarifying an executive order. U.S. investors can no longer invest in ETFs and index funds, as well as subsidiaries of Chinese companies designated as owned or controlled by the Chinese military. Get some of that, right? And remember, we're also dealing with what? We're also dealing with a $1.4 trillion lawsuit against Tether, USD Tether. And that is a huge backdoor to the manipulation that's been going on through Bitcoin and I believe Ethereum as well. However, let's stick to where we're at today. We will do a video on that lawsuit, and you're going to want to see it because it's a big deal. Michael Val 5 Link, shout out to you, my friend. All transactions by classifying Bitcoin as an intangible asset class. India's intelligence agency has proposed an 18% goods and services tax on all BTC transactions. Where have you heard this before? You want to phone a friend? Or you want to tell them that you heard it here? That's right. I have been saying on this channel, I believe everything runs on the XRP ledger. We know for a fact, Chris Larson told us, Bitcoin has been able to be on the XRP ledger since 2014. Quick little reminder, most everybody that has worked on the XRP ledger originally spent time working on Bitcoin until they realized the flaws in proof of work and then shifted over to make something better, which became Ripple XRP. So there it is. But looking at this is what I want to point out here, is that I've been saying that I could see something like all pre-mined Bitcoin has to go on a universal highway like the XRP ledger, and maybe the miners have to pay some kind of tax or cap gains on what they've mined before it goes on the ledger, and then that could settle in 3 to 4 seconds just like XRP could. And I believe the convergence of both of those technologies and protocols working together could get a greater good for the whole entire space because of that that working together, right? That network effect, that actually federated effect, right, is what you're talking about there. So here we're seeing not cap gains, but just an 18% goods and services tax. And I think you're going to continue to see something like this roll out all across the world. Now, going to this, the SEC is going after Ripple, and now China is going after Ant Group. The whole world is a stage. Don't let them shake you out. Thank you to XRP Crypto Wolf. China orders Alibaba founder Jack Ma to break up fintech empire. Just a little background here. Ant Group actually tried to purchase and be a partner and purchase MoneyGram before Ripple did. The U.S. government denied that actual sale because it was a Chinese company. And obviously you see them following up with the news we just shared a minute ago about ETFs and other companies that are backed by Chinese military. This here is showing to me that we are seeing no pun intended, ripple effect happening around the world where, you're seeing China looking to break up and basically like antitrust issues with Jack Ma and the company he's got there with Ant Group. And then you're also seeing Ripple, I believe, deal with what they need to deal with, which is setting legal precedent on getting some kind of a legal decision. And then obviously a framework for digital assets and specifically digital asset securities for the new SEC division, just like they had the SEC Howey Supreme Court case and then the Howey test developed from that. So moving on here, we see FinCEN new proposed rule rushes the inevitable. They are rushing out. If you're not familiar, we've covered this plenty, but obviously they are looking for the identification of anybody with self-hosted wallets, right? And I believe that is not going to change, and it looks like it is not going to change. Now, here's the big news that came out yesterday evening. I've been saying this for the last couple days, that ever since we saw the smaller exchanges do trading halts or a delist, things of that nature, or liquidate their position as a investment group, you're seeing it right here. Given the SEC's recent action against Ripple, all XRP books have been moved to limit only, and Coinbase plans to fully suspend trading in XRP on Tuesday, January 19, 2021 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Afterwards, users will continue to retain access to their XRP funds. That's the good news here. Then the follow-up comment right here, we will continue to support XRP on Coinbase Wallet and Coinbase Custody. Coinbase will continue to monitor legal developments related to XRP and update our customers as more information becomes available through the Coinbase support Twitter account. So, I am a user of Coinbase. I have XRP on Coinbase as I do other exchanges, and they're telling me and all of us, if you're on Coinbase and your holdings are there, you're safe as of now. There's no issue. They're just saying you can't trade after January 19th. But looking at the letter, it goes through and tells us all of these things, right? Move into a limit only starting January 28th. What is limit only? So limit only is I set a price, right? And it has to either hit that price or beyond or below wherever you're looking to do, whether it's lower or higher. But the limit has to be set, right? That's a big deal. And then just to know that, and then obviously fully suspending on January 19th, 2021 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. What they also say at the bottom here is this: trading may be halted earlier as needed to maintain our market health metrics. So the plan is January 19th, but that doesn't mean, because they just put this in here for us, that we could do it sooner if we need to. Oh, we're going to get into it. This comes from Digital Asset Investor right here. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor. And let's listen to this whole clip that he found here from a while back when Dilip Rao was still with Ripple. He has since retired, and I hope that he is having fun in the second chapter of his life. He is a very cool guy, and he's been hard working with Ripple in the Middle Eastern region. So listen to this comment as he breaks down exactly what the plan was at that time. It was a year or more ago. Let's listen to this.
So I mean, it's kind of chicken and egg. You have to create a marketplace. And right now we have about 150, 200 exchanges around the world that trade in XRP. A lot of it, as you say, is very shallow trading by individuals. And that is not the use case that we are pursuing. What we are pursuing is the use of XRP as a financial asset by sophisticated institutions as a bridging mechanism. So does this hurt or harm? Well, it creates a lot of noise. And we certainly don't want that much noise, but we're waiting. And for example, this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions who will start to use it for wholesale, financial usage, that's when the turning point will come.
Got it.
There you have it. Nobody says it better than Dilip Rao right there. You want to know what moment we're in? This is the moment we're in. Listen to this.
But we're waiting. And for example, this last quarter, the bulk of XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions,
as this transitions away from retail and institutions, well, what has been happening? Trading halts. Oh, but Brad, that's because of the SEC is suing Ripple over everything that's happened. Okay, so you're a robot. You think that those issues are not, they are mutually exclusive from what he is saying here? This is the path. This has always been the path. In order for the banks and institutions to use this asset, which is a brand new technology, okay, a brand new technology. Cryptopolis, co-host on the show on Friday, said it best. You can't legislate what you haven't defined. The legal lawsuit, whether it settles before going to court or whether it goes to court, is going to end up with a legal definition of what XRP is. When we have that, there is going to be a transformation of this entire crypto space. And when we do, then the real intended use can be realized by those institutions and banks.
we'll start to use it for wholesale financial usage. That's when the turning point will come.
We are about to hit that turning point, in my opinion. This is Jack Ma confirms cross-border remittance services like Ripple XRP. Coin Delight News partners with Standard Chartered. Now, I went into this article and it does not say XRP. It does not say Ripple. It doesn't say XRP Ledger. Let me just fully disclaimer that. But what it does say is it partnered with Standard Chartered, who's a huge partner to Ripple. Yeah, Kahina Van Dyke went from Ripple to Standard Chartered, and she's only going to be a node away on the network. That to me is an indirect connection with Jack Ma and what's going on there. And that to me is very exciting because Alibaba is enormous. If you ever wanted to know if it's bigger than Amazon, you don't have to wonder anymore. It is. It's huge. If you can imagine, it's absolutely bigger than that. So, but what is this all about? Why did I just show you this? I just showed you this because it's an international issue. Partner with Standard Chartered for payments and cross-border remittance services. So Standard Chartered partnered deeply with Ripple, and somehow Jack Ma's partnered with Standard Chartered, but they're not going to use any of Ripple's tech, or it doesn't mean they're going to use XRP. You're right, it doesn't, but I'm sure that they're going to, in my mind, and you can make your own mind up. But in my mind, I don't think companies do all of these partnerships so they can not take advantage of it. Maybe other people do, and you're welcome to think it. But I'm showing this large part because I want you to understand that this is a global, decentralized asset on a permissionless, open source technology. Yep. Well, you can regulate the hell out of it. You can regulate those points and where there's a conversion, right? Whether it be you going to a exchange, which is a centralized place to go buy or sell, a la trading halts, right? Or other places like merchants, and you could find merchants for using or accepting and things of that nature. But the tech itself can't be stopped. The only way to deal with tech is to regulate the daylights out of it. And that is what is coming. Now, going back to what Dilip Rao had said to us, which is, that moment we're switching, transition.
XRP sales were to institutional investors. And as this transitions away from retail to institutions, we'll start to use it for wholesale, financial usage. That's when the turning point will come.
That's when the turning point will come. And what did we hear from Brad Garlinghouse back in November 13th or 12th when he was on Frank Chaparro's show? Well, just listen what he said, because he highlights that turning point is happening.
I mean, certainly we do know of central banks looking at the XRP ledger as open source technology to issue stablecoins using the XRP ledger. And that may happen. And frankly, it's open source technology. We don't even necessarily have to be involved with that now.
And I'll tell you something, that reminds me of this image right here. Let me go ahead and throw it up again. Central banks around the world could get onto the ledger. They don't even have to contact Ripple. It's open source technology. Just do it. Just like Nike. Boom, we just do it. And there it is. And this is the definition here, according to Mark Carney when his time at Bank of England. Take a look at it, because this is exactly what Mark Carney from the Bank of England said in 2019, is that if you imagine this center being a lot of the central banks of the world, just as a representative image of central banks and banks around the world, creating fiat reserves to back a central bank digital currency. And in that basket is the actual cash, the one-to-one surplus to back those fiat or to back those CBDCs. And then because those are backed and supported as a percentage of their Nostro Vostro accounts committed to this, to back these CBDCs, then you're going to absolutely have this open source technology being used with this private network for CBDCs, wholesale or otherwise. And that intrinsic value of using the XRP ledger and XRP token for this task is going to send the utility and the price for XRP through the roof, because you're going to have all of the central banks creating CBDCs, potentially on a private network on the open source technology, as Brad Garlinghouse just told us. And we're going to listen to the rest of that clip in just a second. But it's important to understand that this image that I've put up here is actually an explanation and a diagram of what Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of England, has suggested that we use. And he didn't suggest that we use some digital asset. He suggested that we use Ripple and XRP, period. Let's listen to the rest of Brad's comments here. Let's go ahead and go back to the rest of the comment here.
The XRP ledger as open source technology to issue stablecoins using the XRP ledger. And that may happen. And frankly, it's open source technology. You know, we don't even necessarily have to be involved with that. Now, as experts in using the XRP ledger, you know, some of them talk to us, and we try to be helpful. And we think that can be good for the overall dynamics in the XRP community. Now,
there we have it. So listen, for me, not financial advice, I'm not concerned about trading halts, because I felt like, listen, the first video I ever made on my channel was about price set and trading halt for XRP. I felt so compelled that I actually made a video for another couple of YouTubers to look at, and like 8,000 people saw the video. And the next thing you know, I ended up having a channel. That's exactly how that happened. I believe this is the path. And I believe we're getting very close to seeing this happen. You know, that turning point from retail use case, we needed retail, right, and speculative buyers to create an ecosystem in the very beginning. Ripple had to prove to the rest of the entities of the world that this was a decentralized, open, free market asset. The only way to do that is to create a real ecosystem for it, which is us. But we're not the final destination, right? We were just the start of the journey. We were just here in a very important way to prove to the rest of the world that the asset is not manipulated and controlled, just like they chose to put the escrow or the XRP remainder in escrow contracts, which I believe is held by PolySign, because the definition of escrow is a third party holding the funds. And I don't believe that they could solely hold them themselves and expect the rest of the world to think that that's good. But, you know, and having them released to them as a steward is another issue, I believe, that will change after this transformation and definition of what XRP is going to be classified as. I believe that this is going to give us what we need to go to that transformational shift that is about to happen from retail to institutional and banking. That is the full-scale intended use of this asset, and that is coming sooner than any of us think. That's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and if you're scared, just say so. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you don't miss a thing. Make sure you check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. They are trusted products and services that I use every day for anything that you may want or need, and they are absolutely trusted, vetted links as well. I will catch you on the next one.